2016. What a year for video games, huh? I mean, especially for shooters. I mean, we had Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, Overwatch, The Division, but I feel like 2016 had one standout. One game that really took everyone by surprise. A game that came out of nowhere to massive critical acclaim and that everyone still won't shut the hell up about almost a decade later.
Oh, crap.
I am, of course, talking about the massively popular Stardew Valley. Wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, what I meant to say was... Yeah, man, it's been almost 9 years since the Doom reboot came out all the way back in 2016. And I mean, what a game. I remember it distinctly being a breath of fresh air from all the other offerings. I mean, where most shooters were either story-driven or extremely competitive, Doom was only interested in one thing and one thing only: fun. And you know, while some of those other games certainly have lasting legacies, I only find myself coming back to one of them: Doom. And I think it's worth everyone's time to just kind of take a look at why this game still holds up almost a decade later, and why, in my opinion at least, Doom 2016 might really forever stand the test of time.
You're goddamn right.
So, the basic premise of Doom 2016 is that you play as the Doom Marine, known here as the Doom Slayer, after he wakes up and finds himself on Mars at a facility completely overrun by demons. And it's up to you to stop the invasion by any means necessary, which, to be frank, means killing everything you see as violently as you can. And I mean, that's really about it, man. Well, almost. Because while there is more narrative, it's mostly presented to you through codex entries and radio calls.
It's time we meet in person.
The codex provides a lot more context as to what you're fighting and the history of the UAC, as well as Hell and the Marine himself. And the radio calls are mostly just ushering you from objective to objective.
I'm blocking your access to the facility scanner. Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
And what I actually find really interesting about Doom's story is that it actually has as much narrative as you want it to have.
It's all true.
Doom isn't interested in making you watch several minute-long cutscenes to, spout exposition at you.
You are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
I mean, it isn't really interested in anything other than you completing that singular task assigned at the start of the game.
Rip and tear until it is done.
And funnily enough, the Doom guy isn't interested in anything other than that either, often acting actively annoyed when stopped for any amount of time.
I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
But if you want to dive deeper into the game's lore, the collectible PDAs and these Hell Totems will give you exactly what you're after.
The age of his reckoning was uncounted. The scribes carved his name deep in the tablets of hell across eons.
And as someone who does love that stuff, it's all super interesting, especially the history of the Slayer.
They knew he would come, as he always had, as he always will, to feast
while I do love myself a good story in games, I don't always want to sit through the same cutscenes over and over when I'm playing that specific game for the gameplay.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And so here, for Doom to bring the narrative to players on their own terms is really smart.
It's all true.
But I think what it also does is bring the game back to those original 2 games where exposition is delivered through on-screen text, making Doom 2016 feel like a direct sequel to those original games while still maintaining a more contemporary feel. And again, man, to reiterate, basically all of the story and all of the lore can be completely ignored by the player. All of that stuff is really interesting, but Doom 2016 isn't exactly remembered for, its gripping narrative.
It is our most closely guarded asset.
It wasn't a breath of fresh air at the time for fans of first-person shooters, thanks to its compelling characters.
But your judgment is no longer considered sound.
I think we all know what Doom 2016 is remembered for. No, not that. Well, yeah, that, but mainly rip and tear. That's the singular objective given to you upon the start of Doom. And Doom lives and dies by that phrase. No pun intended. And combat, despite having some very old school appeal, has a lot going on, so I don't know, I guess just let me take it from the top. Doom is like the anti-modern first-person shooter. For years, we've sort of been trained to, aim down sights, to hunker behind cover, and wait for that health to recharge. We're kind of trained to reload our guns every 5 seconds, of which we can only hold 2, 3 if we're lucky.
Light him up, Bowman!
Basically, first-person shooters want players to play safe and smart. Doom says, fuck that. Never reload, never hide, never stop ripping and tearing. Doom wants you moving around arenas, dodging blows, while dishing out as much pain as you can. And in that way, Doom 2016 really does feel like those original games. Enemies aren't using hit-scan rifles, they use actual identifiable projectiles. Fireballs, blaster rounds, missiles, all of these are clear and visible, and with skill, they're usually pretty easy to dodge. And in retaliation for demons having the absolute fucking audacity to exist,
it's gonna hurt!
You'll be using some awesome fucking weapons to remove them from this plane of existence. Most of the weapons are returning classics from the original games. You've got the shotgun and the pistol, there's the chain gun, the plasma rifle, and the rocket launcher. They even brought in the super shotgun from Doom 2, and this thing ain't fucking around, let me tell you. Oh, and the BFG is back, and better than ever.
Holy moly.
There are also some new additions, like the heavy rifle and the Gauss cannon, and all of these are so much fucking fun to use. But they're not just fun to use, they're actively useful in their own way. Well, mostly.
What the hell you think you're doing with that little shit? Stop it! Stop it! Don't shoot that little motherfucker no more!
The shotgun can deal a moderate amount of damage, and really is just your workhorse weapon. The chain gun and the heavy rifle are both great at absolutely mowing down crowds of smaller demons like the imps and the soldiers. The plasma rifle can destroy shields, and the rocket launcher can absolutely dumpster those heavier demons. The super shotgun, despite being the most conventional looking weapon, is a downright war crime, turning every enemy into a red mist at close range. And the BFG, man, Jesus.
Holy shit.
But I feel like I'm leaving one weapon out. What was that one again?
Here at the UAC, we take pride in their human workforce, and each year we harvest.
Oh, right.
Groovy.
Yeah, man, they even brought back the chainsaw, and this time it has a utility purpose outside of just turning demons into mincemeat. While you can't reload and weapons do have basically bottomless clips, you can run out of ammo. There are ammo pickups and chests, but these are far and few between, and let's be real here. There are a lot of demons that need killing. So the chainsaw becomes a tool of refilling your ammo reserves. Provided you have enough fuel, you can chainsaw any demon for a massive drop of ammo pickups. And, like, sure, blasting a demon apart with a super shotgun is satisfying, but not nearly as satisfying as getting all close and personal to show these fireball-tossing assholes the errors of their ways. And, you know, just like how reloading isn't really a thing aside from, you know, like the super shotgun, neither is regenerating health. And, unfortunately for the denizens of hell, I mean, you gotta refill your health somehow. I don't know if I've ever played a game with a more satisfying mechanic than the glory kill. As you shoot demons, they'll enter a stagger state, opening them up for a glory kill, an extremely brutal finisher that ends with enemies dropping health pickups. And like, not only is this just super useful as a way to get your health back, with it really being absolutely crucial on higher difficulties. But it also just acts as a form of just absolute catharsis. The demons in Doom are fucking relentless, dude. They never slow down, they never stop attacking. And so getting to crack their necks like a particularly difficult glow stick or to tear them limb from limb is just so fucking satisfying. Especially when you get that berserk pickup that turns you into a complete force of nature, tearing enemies apart like they're made of fucking tissue paper. But Doom isn't just ripping and tearing, although that is most of it. Because while the combat feels extremely old school, there are some more contemporary designs, including as you fulfill that task given to you at the beginning of the game,
Rip and tear.
you can upgrade both the Slayer and the Arsenal. Exploring maps, you can find weapon upgrade bots allowing you to get new weapon abilities that enhance an already pretty robust combat sandbox. You can add a grenade launcher to your shotgun, missiles to your heavy machine gun, and turn your chain gun into a fucking triple-barreled turret. I mean, goddamn, dude.
ticks.
And those are just a few examples. There are plenty of others. But you can also upgrade those weapons even more by unlocking weapon upgrade points by killing enemies, as well as completing challenges and finding secrets in the maps. Something I'll come back to. The Slayer can be upgraded by finding these upgrade tokens scattered around the levels, providing buffs like faster climbing, reduced explosive damage, and more. But then you can also find these Argent energy cells that provide more basic upgrades to your health, armor, and ammo capacity. But then there's actually one more form of upgrade in runes. These are challenges that can be found throughout the levels that, once completed, give you a significant ability that really alters how you play and can almost act as a kind of player build. Like, you can increase how long enemies stagger, how fast you can glory kill them, how far pickups are pulled to you, and more. And all of that really is just to say that the progression, like the core combat, is really fucking satisfying. Hunting for weapon upgrade bots and suit tokens is really fun. But, you know, suit tokens and bots aren't all you're hunting for in the maps. Because, yeah, map secrets are back. Doom is full of a ton of Easter eggs and secrets for the players to search for, even rewarding the player with upgrade points for finding them. So, like, not only are they just fun to find, but they serve an actual function, helping you upgrade along the way. And thanks to a more modern map, secrets are accessible, hinting at where they are. But like, even then, some of them can be kind of difficult and complicated to get to, especially those secret classic levels that Doom has hidden around its maps. And what I really appreciate about these secrets is that they're just fun and kind of silly. Like, some of them are just things like armor, sure. But most of them are these little toys or classic levels, and it just reminds you that, you know, this is a video game.
No shit.
It's meant to be fun, and these are like a tiny breath of fresh air after the intense fucking combat that Doom provides. So, we have excellent combat, satisfying progression, and fun exploration, but what I feel really takes Doom to the next level is Doom doesn't just feel great to play, but it looks and sounds damn good while doing it. Presentation is a big part of why I think Doom 2016 will stand the test of time the same way that the original games have. Like, yeah, those games look old, but they hold up in gameplay. But with Doom 2016, I actually think it's still gonna look great here in 20 years. Thanks in part to the art style, with both Mars and Hell just looking absolutely fantastic. But also thanks to just how optimized it is. I mean, Doom was ported to the fucking Nintendo Switch, and I own that port, and honestly, it looks and plays extremely well for what it's on.
He's right, you know.
And I think too that graphics have gotten to a point where games can only look marginally better year after year. So even though Doom came out in 2016, it still looks absolutely stunning, even compared to games developed for, you know, more modern hardware.
Why would you think that?
And I mean, maybe I'll be totally wrong, but I imagine the same will still be true in 10 years when we're all still playing Skyrim on the PS7 Pro or the Xbox Ultra or whatever the fuck Microsoft decide to call it. Well, anyways, like I said, Doom also sounds fantastic. Like, not only does it sound like this, but it also has that music, and goddamn son, the music. I had never heard of Mick Gordon before, but this guy is at the absolute top of my list of favorite artists. I mean, he fucking crushed it here. It's like this blend of heavy metal and techno, and it just works really well, and I still listen to it to this day. I mean, I even own the vinyl, and like, I think the combat does stand on its own, but it just gets dialed to 11 with that soundtrack. And it's even dynamic, changing with what the player does, like finishing combat or getting tuned out when you perform those glory kills. It just ties together with the combat in a way I think other games haven't quite managed to do. And it certainly has had a lasting impact, at least on me, like no other game has had. But, alright, that's enough. Let's wrap this up. So, like, look, dude, I know how easy it is to get cynical about how games are made in current year. No matter what year you're watching this, I understand the frustrations with live service games. Games stuffed to the gills with paid DLC, microtransactions, and forced online connectivity. Games that get pulled from storefronts and can't even be fucking played thanks to servers getting shut off. Games that cost $400 million and have nothing to show for it.
The crew is gathering. Would you like to join us for game night?
I know how easy it is to say that they don't make them like they used to. And to an extent, I think that's true. But then we get games like Doom, a game built on just having a good time. And if I can leave you with anything, it's this. Go play Doom. Whenever all of that stuff is getting to you, or you feel like there are just no games being made for you, go play Doom. I really think it has all the makings of a game that just will stand the test of time in a way that others can't.
You're goddamn right.
The graphics, the gameplay, the music, all of it. And I mean, I don't know if there is such a thing as a perfect game, but Doom has to be pretty fucking close, right? So, look, man, just get out there and rip and tear.
Until it is done.